So CBS is planning, and at the time of this recording, I think they've actually already done it, to turn over the transcript of their interview with Kamala Harris. This was requested by Trump's FCC, which is now being led by his appointee, Brendan Carr. They also, as part of this, asked for not only the transcript of the interview, but also like all the footage like of the camera feeds. CBS put out a statement saying, quote, "We are working to comply with that inquiry as we are legally compelled to do," end quote. Though if you were hoping that CBS would, quote unquote, apologize for what they quote unquote did, you're going to be disappointed. So Bill Owens, who's the executive producer of 60 Minutes, said, quote, "There have been reports in the media about a settlement and or apology. The company knows I will not apologize for anything we have done," end quote. So again, if you don't know about this, so the background here is back in the fall. I think it was on October 7th of all days. That's really, like, why do it on October 7th? But CBS interviewed Kamala Harris leading up to the 2024 presidential election. They interviewed her for 60 Minutes. Of course, the highly acclaimed and program of repute, right? Notably, Trump declined doing a similar interview because he didn't want to be fact-checked. He wanted to, be able to free reign to say whatever he wanted, and he didn't like that they were basically saying, like, no, if you do an interview with us, like, we'll call you out if you're lying, right? Though this all became a scandal, if you can call it that, because they did a promo for the interview. But what they did was they used a different part of one of her answers than actually showed up in the actual interview. So of course, once this kind of was noticed, Trump accused CBS of manipulating her answers using editing, to make her seem more competent. And he even called, again, this is all before the election, he even called for CBS to lose their broadcast license, right? Like pretty severe accusations and potential consequences, right? Of course, CBS defended their actions. They noted that interviews are always edited for clarity. And, the interview, something might work better for a promo than for the actual interview itself because the interview can only be so long for broadcast television, right? And also, they didn't necessarily say, I think they did actually say this in so many words, but this was my thought always was, if this was a concerted effort to hide Kamala's incompetence, then why show their hand at all by using the other footage for a promo? Like, if the whole idea is that they're trying to hide certain parts of the interview, why would they then use that for a promo? Like, it really doesn't make sense. But the point is that it's not supposed to make sense. It's about the political axe to grind. And Trump even ended up suing CBS for $10 billion, billion with a B, citing election interference and deceptive advertising. And it kind of seemed up in the air, and then of course Trump won the election, and now he's back in office. So Brendan Carr, like I said, the guy Trump is appointed to lead the FCC, signaled, and I did a story about this a couple of weeks ago. He has signaled that they may retaliate against CBS by thwarting the parent company of CBS, Paramount Global, thwarting their proposed merger with Skydance Media, right? Kind of using that as the buttons to push. And Paramount's owner, Sherry Redstone, is in favor of settling just to get this deal through, right? So the fact that CBS is acquiescing and providing transcripts and, it's one of the biggest nothing burgers in recent memory. This idea that CBS is, doing this coordinated, attempt to improve the image of Kamala Harris, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially when you just look at the facts. And so really the whole point of this, like I said, is not to prevent election interference or deceptive advertising or giving Americans the truth. That's not what it's about at all. This is just another piece of this larger effort that I've been talking about this channel now for the past couple of weeks. This larger effort by Trump, this assault on the media, right? This assault on the free press that is continuing from his first administration, right? So what he's doing here, he wants to make CBS an example, right? He wants all the other companies in this space to look at CBS and go, we don't want to be that, right? Notably recently, ABC and Disney settled with a Trump lawsuit over, libel or slander, I guess. I don't know, for defamation. George Stephanopoulos calling Trump a rapist, even though technically under the law, a sexual offender. I forget what the terming was, but basically it could have very easily been argued in court, but ABC and Disney just decided they didn't want the fight, so they just settled with the Trump team. I got a quote here from Anna Gomez, who's a Democrat commissioner at the FCC, saying, quote, "Let's be clear. This is a retaliatory move by the government against broadcasters whose content or coverage is perceived to be unfavorable. It is designed to instill fear in broadcast stations and influence a network's editorial decision." End quote. So again, it's all about putting a pressure campaign. And ultimately what Trump wants is, because as much as he, ignores law and norms and what a president is supposed to do and not do, in a perfect world, he doesn't want to have to, do anything that violates anyone's First Amendment rights. Not because he cares about the First Amendment, but just because that's a legal headache that he doesn't want to have to deal with. So he's hoping, and so far it's working. He's hoping that they won't have to violate the First Amendment if these companies just censor themselves, right? Because they decide they don't want the battle. And so, like I said, so far it's been effective for him. And again, CBS acquiescing, even though Bill Owens is pretty reticent about it, but it'll still remain to be seen what shocking revelations will be unearthed from this transcript revelations. Wow, what an interesting story. I'm sure you have some thoughts about the topic, so comment below, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really helps people find the channel and makes me feel all warm inside. Until next time, I'm Peter Mancuso. Peace out.